Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Samantha, and this is On the Hill, where we talk all things biblical womanhood, homemaking, femininity, inner healing, and just overall intentional living. And if you don't know, we are currently in a small series where we are discussing the concept of cycle syncing. If you have not checked out the first few videos that talk about what is cycle syncing, we so far have talked about the period phase, we have talked about follicular phase, and today we're going to talk about the ovulatory phase. So just a little recap. I've been giving a little recap in each video. We have what is called an infradian rhythm as women. We also have a circadian rhythm. So you probably have heard of the term circadian and infradian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is primarily what men operate on, which is a 24-hour cycle. So it's much more appropriate for them to do the same thing every day. There's more consistency. There's just more expectation around what you can expect from them, right? Which is probably the case for a lot of the men in our lives that we know, right? But as women, we operate primarily on what is called an infradian rhythm, meaning that we experience fluctuations or waves over the span of about 28 days. So it is comprised of 4 phases. The menstrual phase consists of 4 phases, and in that we have the period, or we also call it the menstrual phase, which is a time where we are bleeding for however many days that is for you. We have what is also called the follicular phase, and as I mentioned before, each phase can be contributed to a different season. So the menstrual or the period is very much like the inner winter, stealing away, soups, teas, really replenishing our bodies. For me, this is when a lot of deep, like emotional stuff comes up for me. And this is a time where, again, my body is purifying itself, it's cleaning itself. So this is a time where I go to the Father and I say spiritually, like, what's happening inside of me that is not pleasing to you? What are some of the things that I need to work on? And it, like I said, it just never fails. It always happens around my period or around the luteal phase, which is the phase right before my period, which is oftentimes, again, the time when I retrieve and I pull back and I'm just really reflective. I'm in a deep space. But then you have the inner spring, which we talked about in the last video, which is the follicular phase. You're more creative. You're stepping out a little bit. Again, think about spring. This is when people are starting to come out, right? Like all of the things that the Father downloaded in you during your time of reflection, and introspection while you were on your period. This is a time to start implementing while you are in your follicular phase. So the next phase is the ovulatory phase, and that is what we're going to talk about today. So a lot of people think that the ovulatory phase is just a time to have babies. Now, don't get me wrong. You probably are a little bit more hot and bothered. Your hormones are increasing. And again, I have a cycle syncing ebook 101 for beginners. So this has a lot more of like the science behind what's happening in your body, recommendations for each phase. So this series is really more of an overview. But the ovulatory phase, again, like your hormones are increasing, you're feeling a lot more hot and bothered. This is when you're more sociable, right? So your ovulatory phase, this is the time to step out, right? This is a time to do some networking opportunities. If y'all hear my children in the background, y'all know I'm a mama. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I try to record when my children are sleeping, but they woke up, and so it's fine. They're playing, they're fine. But the ovulatory phase is a time to network. This is a time to step out. This is a time for girls' night. Go on, dates, like date nights, right? Like, you can go on a date whenever, right? But this is when you're really feeling good about yourself. Like you feel really, really good. This is a time for those hard, high intensity workouts, right? Because your body is in a place on a hormonal level where it can support that. Again, you're trying to do HIIT workouts and hard, intense workouts while you're on your period. Your hormones are depleting, like they are decreasing during that time. So your body is not in a place to support those workouts. Again, the idea of cycle syncing is to align your lifestyle as much as you can. Small changes every day or every month, right? Because we operate on a 28-day cycle. Small changes, little changes here and there that help you to align your lifestyle based on what phase you are in. But again, when it comes to your ovulatory phase, you are feeling more vibrant. Again, think about the summer, right? It is compared to the summer season. So summer, that's when we're doing all the activities. We're on vacation. Everybody is out. So this is the time to get out there, like really enjoy yourself, right? Connect with other women. This is, again, where you could do some girls' nights out, like do different activities. This is a time to be really productive, really, really productive. I said in my last video, but I try to batch record my YouTube videos or content when I'm in my follicular ovulatory phase, because my hormones are in a place where it supports high levels of productivity, right? I'm not batching when I'm on my period. I don't have the energy for that. But when I'm in my follicular, that inner spring, summer phase, like, oh, yes, I'm doing it all, right? And so again, like that's what you want to be doing during your ovulatory phase. You want to be really productive. You want to get out there. You want to have a good time. If you could do a little small staycation, like this is a great time to do it. This is a great time to really put yourself out there. If there are things that you've been really nervous about trying, try it during your ovulatory phase. I don't know what it is about the hormones that are really surging during this time, but it gives you like that little boost of confidence and courage that maybe you don't have during other times of the month. So try whatever you've been nervous about trying. Try it during your ovulatory phase. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work for you, right? And so yes, the ovulatory phase is really that time to just lean into that, right? And so then let's go into the luteal phase, right? So ovulatory, you've been out there, it's summer. What season comes after summer? Fall, right? So this is a transition right before you are getting ready for your period, right? So fall season, this is when you start declining. Those hormones that were just surging where you was just like 100, okay? Right? They're starting to plummet. They're starting to come down. And again, we want to work with our body and not against it. So even though I may have been out having a girls' night when I was in my ovulatory phase, I'm now in my luteal phase. So maybe I'm not out as much, right? Maybe instead of going out and doing a whole bunch of things, maybe this is a phase where we could have a girls' night in. Because again, my hormones are starting to decline because it's preparing, right, for a possible pregnancy if I'm pregnant, or my period if I'm not, right? So this is a time to start taking it down, right? To start preparing your body for your period. A lot of us do not prepare our bodies for our period. Our period just shows up like, hey, I done popped into town, and it's kind of like somebody just show up on your doorstep. They didn't tell you they were coming. And that's how we approach our period. A lot of us, we don't even know the period is coming. If you're like me, for a long time, and any of my girlfriends that know me, for a long time, I wasn't even tracking. Like one of my friends, she's really good at like remembering things. And if she sees it, she's going to know who she is. There was one time she knew when I was on my period, and she knew when I had my last period. Like there was one time when I thought I was pregnant with my daughter. And I was pregnant, but I wasn't tracking. And so I was like, girl, do you remember when I had my period last? And she was like, it was on this day. Like she just knew. How she know? And I don't, like, that's my responsibility to be in tune with my body. And again, like, so some of us, our period just pops up and we have not prepared for it, right? Think about it. When you are about to have guests come over to your house, what do? You start cleaning up. You start getting things in position to entertain the people that are coming. And this is the same thing with our luteal phase, which is that phase right before our period. This is a time to start getting your house in order, because again, when you're on your period, you don't want to do anything. I don't want to do deep cleaning when I'm on my period. I want to rest. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, is resting. So your luteal phase, this is a nice time to declutter a little bit. It's a nice time to organize. This is a nice time to finish up some projects. So if I batch recorded, just for example, if I batch recorded my videos in my follicular and ovulatory phase, then that luteal phase is a nice time maybe to like do a little minor editing and get those videos scheduled. So I don't even have to think about it when I'm on my period, right? Do you see how you plan your life with your period, with your menstrual cycle in mind? And when you do that, you better flow in your life. Again, during that, throughout the month, during those 28 days, our body is experiencing, there are waves, right? And some of us are crashing in the waves. Like we're crashing, right? We're crashing because we're not aware. We're not in tune with our bodies. We don't know when Aunt Flo is coming into town. We haven't prepared for her, right? We're not supporting our bodies in a way that it needs to be supported. Some of us are doing high intense things during our period, which only increases our cortisol levels, our adrenaline levels, right? And so now when we come out of our period and we go into the other phases of the month, we're fatigued. Right? And the reason we feel fatigued in those other phases is because we didn't support ourselves the way that we should have when our period was on. Right? The Bible says in Proverbs 31, woman, she does not fear the future because she's planned. She's aware of what is to come. This is the same thing with our bodies as women. We should be aware of what is happening and how do we best support ourselves, because we need to stop pouring from empty cups, y'all. We need to stop giving what we don't have. Right? And I said this in another video. My husband helped me edit the Cycle Syncing 101 ebook. I'm going to link it below in the description. He edited it for me, like for grammar and all of this stuff. And after he read it, he was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And in the ebook, it tells you like what you should be eating during different phases of the cycle. So it's so funny because one of the things is like beef during your luteal phase, right? And so it's so funny, like when I'm in like a low phase, he'll be like, oh, you in your luteal phase? He'd be like, all right, girl, let me get you some beef. So it's so funny. He like got me some brisket one time. He was like, I got you brisket because I know you're in your luteal phase. I know you need the iron because your body is about to lose some blood. Like my man knows what's happening in my body because I've educated myself, which helps me educate other people on how to best support me. Some of us are pulling on people to show up in ways that, first of all, we don't even know we need for ourselves, but we haven't communicated that because we don't know, right? Now that he knows, he gets my beet juice when I'm on my period. He was in Walmart the other day. He came out with beet juice. I forgot to get the beet juice for myself. He was like, oh, I got you your beet juice because I know you're on your period. Like, okay, get you a man like that, right? But I'm saying that to say, like, we can better plan our lives and really support ourselves if we are aware of what's happening and we are aware of how to show up. So again, that luteal phase, you're preparing for your period, you're preparing your home, finishing up those tasks. So when you're on your period, you're not thinking about it, right? This is a time where you're preparing to retrieve, you're preparing to hibernate, right? So you're getting out of those hard hit workouts. You can still do somewhat of an intense workout that has a little bit of oomph to it, but not too much, right? Because again, we want to prepare our bodies. And your period, the type of period you have will be determined by how you support your body in all the other phases. Some of us have really bad periods because we are not properly supporting ourselves in other phases of our cycle. We're not properly supporting ourselves. We're not. So y'all, when you have that understanding, you know how to better show up for yourself. I'm telling you, like, it is a game changer. Get the Cycle Syncing 101 ebook. Read it. Right? And I even have archetypes in there for different women in the Bible that relate to like the different phases we're experiencing in our bodies. So for my faith girlies, like that want to make sure that everything is biblically based, girl, I got you. Trust me, I got you. Okay. I'm making sure that this science concept or the scientific concept, it's biblically based, right? Because the Father was around before science came. And there are so many things that we learned through cycle syncing that was already established biblically, right? And just a lot of people don't know that, right? So I'm telling you, get the Cycle Syncing 101 ebook. There's also a tracker that you can purchase. You can get the digital version or you can get the physical copy. There's an actual binder. It is so cute. So cute, I'm telling you. And it helps you track the different phases of your cycle. Once you read the ebook and you understand what's happening, now you can better plan. There's a monthly calendar where you can put in the different events of, you know, the different events that you have coming up throughout the month on your calendar. You can kind of rearrange some things based on where you know you are going to be in your cycle. Right? So again, if you go in and you look at the monthly calendar, and maybe I'll do a separate video in this series on how to use the tracker. I think I will do that. And I'll show you like maybe a month in my own life and how I look at what's coming up on the calendar, what I can change and move around. I try to change and maneuver around so that I'm supporting my period and other phases. But you know, it allows you to plan, it allows you to be aware. There's a place in there for you to meal plan, because in the ebook, I give you suggestions on foods to eat, right? Based on what's happening in your body. So now you can plan your foods based on that. It has a food list in there. My children are driving their truck outside. It's fine. Motherhood, right? It's okay. We're going to get this done. But it has a place for you to meal plan. And then it has a grocery list that you can create based off of what you need to purchase to make the meals that will support where you are in the phase of your cycle. I'm telling you, it is top tier. I haven't found anything out there like it. You're going to love it, right? And then with the physical product, you also get the digital copy as well. So you can reprint your papers, right? And so that way you're constantly tracking and you're aware and you're becoming more in tune with yourself. You can never be too self-aware. You can never grow and learn more about yourself, right? I talked about this in another video. Like, we need to be more self-aware. We need to build a better relationship with ourselves, with the feminine essence that we carry. Like, we need to develop and cultivate that. We need to learn ourselves better. And cycle syncing is one of the practical tools that you can do to help you in that journey of really redeveloping or developing, if you've never had one, a relationship with yourself. So check it out. It's in the description. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I would be so happy to support you. If you are a woman that is on your own healing journey with inner child healing, healing from trauma, you're trying to step more into your femininity, you want to learn more about cycle syncing, you want more one-on-one support with cycle syncing and just other aspects of healing your feminine womanhood, let me know. I would love to talk to you about the Healing Womanhood coaching program. There's a link in the description where you could set up a free call and we could talk about what's going on and how I can best support you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please subscribe, please like, and share this video with another sister that is trying to elevate in the area of feminine womanhood.